Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Valerie here. If you are new, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Alright, so today I'm going to react to a story on Impressive. It's about the story is about teams Tyla and another person, but I'm interested in the Tyla story. Let's get into it, guys.
I want to start this video off talking about a little bit of music. I actually want to talk about Tim's album. She released an album called Born in the Wild. And I have to say, this album really grew on me, surprisingly. Now, when I first heard it, I was like, okay, that was kind of my reaction. I wasn't blown away. However, I found myself revisiting this album a lot. This album is definitely a grower. It's an easy listening album. It's very mellow, very laid back. The production is kind of stripped down a little bit, so it's not too busy, but you can still vibe to it. I like the fusion of R&B and Afrobeat that she used on this album. And she's actually more of an R&B artist when I think about it, but I do like it. I like the themes as well. I think Tim's is a good writer. The songs I like are Wickedest, Love Me JJ, Turn Me Up, Burning, Me and You, Forever, Gangsta, You in My Face. Free Fall featuring J. Cole was cool too. I really like J. Cole's verse. I also think he's a good lyricist. But yeah, overall, the album was a vibe. I'm not going to hold you. It's definitely an album you can listen to when you want to relax and play background music. I actually like it a lot, and I keep coming back to it. So that's how I know that I'm a fan of the album.
Okay, so for Teams, one thing I like about Teams is that she's a good writer, like songwriter, especially looking at the song that she wrote for Rihanna for the Black Panther. That's part 2 of it. That's one thing I like about her, and I'm sure this album is a blast. So guys, just let's support her.
I also want to talk about Victoria Monet because this past week she dropped a video for her single All Right. And I just want to take some time to rave about this video because this video ate down. You hear me? I love the Michael Jackson references. I love the Janet Jackson references.
Wow.
I love the different looks. I love the choreography. I thought her and Sean Bankhead, who's her choreographer, did an amazing job. Victoria is just a star. She's a star and she continues to push herself. She continues to get better. She just has the it factor. And you can tell that she has studied the greats. She studied Michael. She studied Janet. She studied Beyonce. And she's also developed her own style and her own sound. I mean, she just gets it right every single time. If you haven't checked out her All Right video, please do. It's a treat. And I think she's going to do a series of videos for her songs from her album Jaguar 2. So I'll be keeping my eyes out for that. Now, I want to talk about this. Now,
I didn't know about Victoria Monet until she appeared on was it Grammys? Yes, Grammys. And then I got to know that she was writing songs for a whole lot of people in the industry. I was like, wow. So there are some of the songs that I don't even remember some of the songs now. So I'm sure this video it's going to be good. Looking at, because I feel like every songwriter who does music by themselves end up doing a good job. So let's get into the real story for today, the one I'm really interested in.
There was a little bit of controversy surrounding the South African artist Tyla. Now, Tyla did an interview on The Breakfast Club, and they asked her about her racial identification. Now, if you don't know, Tyla identifies as colored. Now, in America, the term colored is considered a slur. It's a very outdated term, and it's not politically correct to use. And it does have a negative history behind it because during the segregation era, Black people were called colored, and they were treated as second-class citizens. And segregation was established after slavery ended. And it was used to keep Black people from rising above the ranks and having access to things that will help them progress. White people occupied those spaces and they didn't want Black people in those spaces. So Black people didn't have equal treatment. Oftentimes they weren't even treated like humans. And even if the person was mixed or had a drop of Black in them, white people were insistent on separating themselves from them because they wanted to uphold their supremacy. They didn't want their spaces to be contaminated with colored people. So I say all this to say that the term colored had a negative history behind it. Now, in South Africa, the term colored is not considered a slur, but it does have a controversial history behind it too, because it was created during the apartheid. And just like in America, the term was basically used to impose white supremacy and create.
Exactly my issue because South Africa still use the term colored whenever like if person is fair a bit like it's a mix of like white and black, they always term that person as colored. So like basically that's what she how she answered it. So like when people were blasting her, I didn't understand.
Racial division. Now, there are four racial classifications that were created during the apartheid era, which include black, white, Indian, and colored.
Exactly.
Tyla identifies as colored because in her country, that is how they view her. So basically, colored means the person is multiracial. They're mixed with a variety of different ethnicities. And Tyla has said that she is
Wow.
mixed with
All
Black,
these.
African, Irish, Indian, and Mauritius. And she said one of the cultures she comes from is Zulu, which is on her mother's side, I believe. So she got a lot of mixture going on. And these are her siblings. They are also considered colored, even though their phenotypes are slightly
They're
different.
so
Now,
pretty.
when Tyla was
Like
asked about her race on The Breakfast Club, she refrained from answering it because she has already talked about it in the past. In South Africa,
come
my
on
race
guys.
is called, and it's a very stressful term to use in America because I know it's a derogatory term, but I mean, that's what we are called.
School me on these debates that they be having about your identity as a South African colored person. What does that even mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. We keep that. I like when they talk from the back and say we can't. I like that. I like the character. That's good. That's even better. You want to see all the
Like we
questions they told us not to
expect
ask?
leave her alone, man. So as you can see, things got very awkward when her race was brought up and her publicist had to intervene. It was just weird, and I think Tyla is tired of the race discussions
This is
because
not a
she
major
doesn't want it to
issue.
be
Like
her identity as an artist. And I get it, but I think it would have been a cool moment for her to actually use the platform to talk about what colored means in South Africa
yeah.
instead of just shutting
Yeah.
it down, because it is very important for her to explain what
Yeah.
she means by calling herself colored
I
to.
feel like Tyler should have like explained it like so that it wouldn't look like awkward that oh she's not proud of where she's from and she wouldn't be attracting all this black lashes already she's dealing with a whole lot of enviness in the industry. So I think she did a mistake there. She should have just explained that, use the platform to educate the so-called backlashing people. Hmm. Well,
The American audience, because she is trying to market herself here in America, and she's especially trying to market herself to the Black American audience. So she actually has to explain it to people who don't know, because there are a lot of people who don't know. They hear the term colored and immediately they get offended because it
oh
has
yeah,
a negative history behind it. And it also makes some people suspicious because they feel like, okay, if Tyler doesn't identify as Black, why is she entering
exactly,
Black spaces and adopting Black aesthetics? Why is she trying to
exactly.
capitalize off of the Black support? That
Yeah.
can be off-putting to some people. So I don't think she should necessarily dismiss the conversation. I know she's tired of talking about her race, and I don't feel like her race should cause any confusion because she's mixed, and there's nothing wrong with that. But instead of saying mixed, she calls herself colored, which is a bit triggering. People might not understand it. So I do think it's necessary for her to open up about it a little bit instead of shutting it down. And she did end up having to speak on it because of the backlash. She went on social media and said, yo, guys, never deny my Blackness. I don't know where that came from. I'm mixed with Black and Zulu, Irish, Mauritian, Indian, and colored. In South Africa, I would be classified as a colored woman, and in other places, I would be classified as a Black
As a
woman.
black
Race is
woman.
classified differently in different parts of the world. I don't expect to be identified as colored outside of Southa by anyone not comfortable doing so because I understand the weight of that word outside South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
But to close the conversation, I'm both colored in South Africa and a black woman. As a woman for the culture, it's and, not or. With that being said, as Sambi. So that's what Tyla had to say. And there was a South African guy who went on TikTok and gave a broader explanation on the whole topic.
As a colored South African who understands that we are black, that we are African, but we have a unique cultural experience, and that has the title of being colored. Um, I think we're a little bit tired of explaining this to
Mm-hmm.
people who don't want to educate themselves on the topic. Now, I'm not
Yeah.
excusing any kind of anti-blackness, and I'm not excusing any kind of feeling of superiority because of some perceived proximity to whiteness.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is that in South Africa, uh, people who were categorized as colored had a differing experience, not different, but differing experience from people who were seen as black. And so
Yeah.
I think colored people are very I'm very apprehensive. Understanding that
Mm-hmm.
I'm black, understanding that I'm African, I'm very apprehensive about
Mm-hmm.
claiming blackness in certain contexts because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have the same experience and I wasn't subjected to the same kind of things that people in South Africa who were considered black to
Mm-hmm.
experience.
Yeah.
Um, so I understand why Tyler might say, hey,
Exactly.
I'm not black, I'm colored, whilst at the same time being black, whilst at the same time being
Yes.
African.
Big African.
Um, because I'm assuming she's referring to what she is culturally.
Anyway, tell me what
Mm-hmm.
y'all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe and share
All
this
right,
video.
guys. Okay, guys. For me, I think Tyler said nothing wrong. I don't know why people, send all those negative comments. All right. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.